Welcome, music lovers around the world. This is Joseph Farnsworth here in Southampton, New York, the Hamptons. I finally got to get out here. My friend moved out here 20 years ago and said, you'll be out here every weekend. This is the first time I've been here in 20 years. Thank you, Joel Chris and Klaus Grunhill, for creating such a great environment for music to thrive and the people to come out and hear it. And thank you, Spike Wilners of Smalls Live. Great foundation. Spike's been one of my great friends since 1988 when I used to pretend I was Arthur Taylor and he pretended he was Red Garland, and we played at the Village Gate Jam Sessions on Sundays. So it's a thrill to be out here, and I couldn't come out here without my great buddy on guitar, Mark Whitfield, one of the greatest of all time, and two young lions, Jonathan Muir-Cotton on bass and Tyler Bullock on piano, who's 20 and Jonathan's 24. So I play the drums. I'm from South Hadley, Massachusetts, and I studied with the great Alan Dawson and Arthur Taylor, and I've gotten to play with the great Pharoah Sanders and George Coleman and McCoy Tyner and Cedar Walton and Benny Golson. But it's a thrill now, coming out of COVID, to play with all these younger guys and to bridge that gap, make a bridge to that generation and to inspire us, so we're all playing together. Here we had a great night. I would love for anybody that's interested in following me on Instagram, Joe Farnsworth Drums. Every little like helps, and it's amazing how much, if you get followers, that people tend to hire you. So it's a new thing in music today. So they can see me on Joe Farnsworth Drums Instagram or on Facebook, and I have a brand new record on it, Smoke Sessions, called "In Which Direction You Headed," and that was a song written by the great Harold Mayburn, who played it on Lee Morgan's last session, and it's a dedication to the great Elvin Jones. When you used to ask Elvin Jones a question, he answered you in a question. So Harold said, "Hey Elvin, do you need a ride home?" And Elvin said, "In which direction are you headed?" And so that's my new record with the great Kurt Rosenwinkel on guitar, Emmanuel Wilkins on alto, Robert Hurst on bass, Julius Rodriguez on piano, and yours truly from South Hadley, Massachusetts on drums. So buy the record on, I guess, Spotify or Amazon or Smoke Sessions, and follow me on Instagram. That'd be great. And I do all sorts of videos on the legends like Max Roach, Arthur Taylor, Billy Higgins, Jimmy Cobb, Elvin Jones, Art Blakey, and all the greats. And the greatest drummers have something in common. They all play with the great Charlie Parker. So we all tie it together. So it's nice to see that, on live.
My name is Mark Whitfield, and I play guitar. My parents were born in 1920 and 1923, respectively. So they're not only jazz fans, jazz was the music, the soundtrack of their young lives. They wanted me to be a well-rounded student, so I played classical music, I was bass player in the orchestra, and all those things. But there's a great concert hall in Westbury being the theater in the round. And so as a kid, I got to see Ella Fitzgerald with Oscar Peterson and Duke Ellington Orchestra with Duke Ellington actually conducting, and Count Basie and things like that. And the way for young people to experience jazz is in person, because it's something about the visual impact of that sort of mastery, jazz and classical music. So once you're already a fan, you can enjoy it any way you can. But for young people, so it had a long-lasting impact on me, and luckily arts and culture, as we just talked about, was still important in the Babylon Township, the public schools, and so I had great exposure to music as a kid. I was not in town. I'm the only musician in my family, but I fought hard with my family, my parents, to let me accept my scholarship to go to Berkeley in Boston. And I graduated from there in '87, and a few years later I was recording for Warner Brothers. And I made about 20 solo albums, and I played on hundreds of albums for other people, and lots of other different. I played mostly jazz, but I also played with Dave Matthews and Sting. I played with D'Angelo's Brown Sugar record, and I even had John Mayer as a guitar student for a while. So music has taken me a lot of places to do and see a lot of things. MarkWhitfield.com is my website on all streaming platforms. Lots of records out there. Instagram is my crutch, because it's easy. It's easy for an old man to keep up with. So at Mark Whitfield, the guitarist.
Hi, my name is Tyler Bullock, and I am a jazz pianist. I'm 20 years old from Nashville, Tennessee, and I've been in the New York area for 2 years. So I was introduced to jazz music when I was around 11 or 12 years old. I had been playing piano since I was 4, but it wasn't something that I was like really serious about until I was introduced to jazz, and then I just completely fell in love with the amount of freedom and humanity that's in the music. And I've just been in love with it ever since. I'm playing all over New York City all the time. I have a YouTube channel. Just look up Tyler Bullock II on YouTube and you can find me. My Instagram is @tylerb.2.
My name is Jonathan Mir Cotton, bass player. I play upright and electric bass, and I play R&B, jazz, classical music, gospel, hip hop, any genre of music I basically play, so yeah. So my mom exposed me to like a lot of music when I was younger, so like on Sundays when she's cleaning the house, like any style of music like Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, all the above. And then once I got an iPod in like 2006 or 8, iPod Nano, my mom just loaded a bunch of different styles of music onto it and started learning music. Then in 5th grade, my elementary school, we started like getting a chance to try out instruments. So my first instrument that I tried out was like cello officially, and then I switched to bass. And I went to a lot of concerts like Jazz Lincoln Center as a kid, and once I saw the bass in different formats like upright and electric bass, I knew that that's what I wanted to play.
Good evening. Welcome to the Parrish Art Museum. It's great to see so many of you tonight. Welcome. It's a beautiful evening. And my name is Corinne Ernie. I'm the chief curator here at the museum. And this is our first jazz concert of the season, thanks to Hampton's Jazz Fest. Yes. Hampton's Jazz Fest, which is headed up by Klaas Brondal, and he will tell you shortly more about tonight's program, which is called A Time to Swing, with Joe Farnsworth, one of the most exciting drummers of our times. Yes, please give him a hand. Thank you. So I just want to thank our sponsor for Friday nights, the Corcoran Group, and I would like to introduce you now to Klaas Brondal from Hampton's Jazz Fest. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. It's great to see so many familiar faces. I know all of you, because you show up to all our events. It's much appreciated. When I heard this afternoon that we were climbing of and above 200 people in attendance, I was thinking to myself, jazz is not dead. It just smells funny. Do you know that expression? That's right. It's just different these days. So it's my ultimate pleasure to present another evening, another event of world-class music, world-class jazz. You don't have to leave the East End any longer. We bring the world music, the music of the world to your neighborhood. That's our goal with Hampton's Jazz Fest. Very quickly, Hampton's Jazz Fest is produced by the Jam Session, Inc., which is a non-profit organization, and our one and only goal is to present as much and as good music under the jazz umbrella as possible. Latin jazz, Brazilian, African, and straight-ahead jazz for that matter as well. I would like to thank some of our sponsors and media partners. If you take a look at this amazing piano, they shipped that from New York City just for you guys today. It's a Steinway Model D. It's as big as a boat, and it sounds really, really good. And we just had it tuned just for tonight. And that comes from our sponsor, Clavier House in Manhattan, and they have partners with us because they believe in the common goal and present great music, and great music requires great instruments. Also, tonight's program and the entire series here at the Parrish Art Museum is made possible by Smalls Live Foundation. Smalls is a small jazz club in New York City who is actually setting the industry standard for great jazz music, legends, and up-and-coming artists. Smalls Live are extending all the way out east and have partnered up with us so that we can present to you the best music available in the world today. So I also want to thank Parrish Art Museum for letting us do this. They are great partners, and they are partners in crime, enabling us to bring this music to you guys. Without much further ado, the longer I talk, the more ready they become. We're ready. Okay, all right, enough with the talk. Put your hands together, give them a lot of love, give them some noise. Time to swing with Joe Farnsworth. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a pleasure to be in Southampton. One of my best friends made it big down in Wall Street and bought a summer home down here. Said, Joe, you're going to be out here every weekend. This is the first time I've been here in 20 years. And I even called him up. I knew he was home somewhere out here, and he didn't answer the phone. But Evans, anyways, I'm just so happy to be here. It's such an honor to be playing with these guys. I got to tell you a little bit about them. But first of all, if I speak too much, Mark, my co-host here, will drag me off the stage. I'm 55 years old. I've been playing for 40 years with a lot of great people. And because I play the drums, I never get to speak. So I have a lot on my mind. I got 40 years of stuff on my mind. So let me slow down, take a big breath, and remember all the important things. First and foremost, on bass, last year I was very fortunate to do a masterclass concert in Michigan State University. And my great friend is the director there, Mr. Rodney Whitaker. I used to play with him in 1990 with Diana Krall. I'm sure you know who she is, right? Actually, one of my last gigs with Diana Krall, I was with her for 2 years, was I think out here. And I was getting a little full of myself because everywhere we played, it was always sold out. And I started to believe that people were coming to see me and not her. And so I asked for a raise, thinking that I was the star, and I properly got replaced. So that was 1990. Anyways, last year we went to Michigan State University, and what the jazz world or any music world really needs is great bass players. And he was a senior there in college, and I'm like, wow, this guy is really great. I said, when you come to New York, please tell me so we can hire you. And he came to New York, and we hired him, and here he is, Jonathan Muir-Cotton. Jonathan Muir-Cotton. Back in 1986, I grew up in South Hadley, Massachusetts. Any South Hadley fans here? You are? Oh, yeah? All right. Anyways, we won Western Mass, which wasn't very much. It was like us, Granby, and Amherst. But we won Western Mass in basketball. And so we had 2 hours free. And I was like, Jonathan, I'm going to show you some old school Western Mass basketball playing. He says, oh, that's great because I got a scholarship to play for Michigan State University. I'm like, thank God we didn't see a basketball court around here. You can laugh a little bit. I'm trying, right? Okay. On piano. It was last year, too. My friend on bass, I said, who's an exciting young piano player? And he quickly said, oh, this guy, Tyler Bullock. And he showed up and played the gig, and he played great. He reminds me of, of himself, which is great, but like the spirit of McCoy Tyner and Cedar Walton and Mulgrew Miller, and it's such a pleasure to be with him, and he's a star, and he looks great, and the future is bright. The great Tyler Bullock on piano, Tyler Bullock. So I'm just guessing we have 24 years old on the bass and 19? 20 on piano. Yeah. 5 years ago, Jazz at Lincoln Center called me up and said, Mr. Farnsworth, we'd like you to play for a week with the young generation and the old generation. I said, oh, wow, great. I said, I wonder who I'm going to play with, like Sonny Rollins and Bobby Hutcherson and McCoy Tyner. And I walked in, and the piano player was 17 years old, and I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm the older generation. So it really took a turn. And nowadays, when you get, well, Mark too, we're older than their parents, and that's kind of a shocker. And speaking of which, Tyler's parents are here. He's like, are you going to shout out my parents? Like, yeah, because I have 3 kids that never shout me out, so we're going to shout out the parents. Tyler Bullock Sr. and Tammy Bullock, where are you? Where are you? Did they leave? Oh. Did they go? Anyways, they're here. On guitar, I met him when I first came to New York City, and we're basically the same age, and I was coming from Western Mass, which is like a little country town, and I got to New York City, and he was already a star, and he was right in there with all these young lions, and he was great. And, you know, I came from a little town, so, you know, you're one of the best players in the area, and you get to New York City and you realize that this isn't Western Mass anymore, and this is the big time. But it was great to see him and guys like him that have such a high standard for guys our age. So it really inspired me, and I've always wanted to play with him. And then during COVID, we got together, and because everyone was the attitude was going down, and the vibe was going down, and I was watching his videos, and he was always going up. And I said, I want to follow that guy because his attitude was always going up, and his spirit was always up. And my teacher, Arthur Taylor, said to surround yourself with great people. And that when COVID came, dissipated, and we were able to travel again, that's the guy I wanted to go out on the road with and face this new world. And we went, of all places, God has a funny sense of humor. He sent us to Ukraine and Russia. And we were so happy over there. We were making videos together, and we were like the first people that traveled, and we're in Ukraine and Russia, and we were just having the best time. And it inspired a lot of people like to get out there and like maybe get out of the house again and do things again, and like maybe things aren't so bad. And man, I just love them. As you can see, you know, when I have a gig, when Mark Whitfield's on the gig, everything's gonna be cool. And all you have to do is let him do what he does and just sit back there and play time. So my main man, a superstar, a person, Mark Whitfield. Where is he? Oh, right here, man. Yeah. I'm almost done. But this is so nice to speak. Oh, you give me some little church music? Can I get an amen? Okay. Anyways, one of the great things in my life was playing with certain masters that aren't here anymore. And that's one of the reasons why we're playing with youngsters. You got to bridge that gap. Like we tried to bridge that gap to the old masters, like Cedar Walton and McCoy Tyner and Clifford Jordan, and Johnny Griffin. They're not here anymore. And so you got to reach out to the youngsters and inspire you. And one of the people that I made a point to be with was the great Pharoah Sanders. Does anyone know who Pharoah Sanders is? Yeah. Pharoah Sanders meant the world to me. I spent 17 years with him. By the way, when Dinah Krall left me out in the Hamptons somewhere after that last gig, I came home. I said, I think I blew that one. And the next day, I got a call from Pharoah Sanders to join him. So when one door closes, another one opens. But anyways, the person that met Pharoah Sanders in 1988 when Pharoah was homeless. Can you believe that? And this guy took him in and started getting us gigs. And for some reason, man, we got gigs on every single island, like the British Islands. What are some of the islands down there? St. Lucia. What was the one that started with A? Aruba. Curacao. We were on every island, and this guy, when we were playing with Pharoah, and this guy that booked us was dancing on the side, like we were having such a great time. And every time, this is back before cell phones, you had your call answer machine, then you got the caller ID. Well, that was special. And then when 212 area code came up, I always took that call because that meant one thing, that meant gigs, and the call was from the great Joel Chris. Joel Chris is a as an angel for this music, and he lives down here, and he's one of the people that has come down here and provided us this chance to play together, and his friend Klaus Brunbell, and those two together have made this possible for us to come from New York City to be with you guys. So give Joel, Chris, and Klaus a big round of applause. Where is he? Everyone I've mentioned is not around here. What are they doing? Oh, I thought there was like a bar down the street or something. Oh, there's Joel, Chris, stand up. Take a bow. Okay, yeah. This guy has shown me the world and put me in a lot of great spots, man, and I can never thank you enough, and thank you for bringing me out here. Joel, Chris, thanks a lot. We'd like to continue onwards. We're going to do a special request for Ginny. Joan, okay. Oh, you said Ginny. Well, I thought it was for Jean. Okay, all right, okay. So we're doing this for her mom, Joan, or she's Joan, but for Jean. Anyways, it's Embraceable You, but Mark, you used to play a ballad, a solo ballad, right? Didn't you want to do that and go into Embraceable You? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Whitfield, Tyler Bullock, Jonathan Muir-Cotton. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, my name is Joseph Farnsworth. Thank you very much. Tyler, the great Tyler Bullock on piano. Tyler Bullock on piano. Tyler Bullock, Embraceable You.
Bad things always happen when you hand me the microphone. How about it for these guys one more time? Yes, indeed. Just want to take a second to shine a light on my old friend, Spike Wilner, piano player that we go back with for more than 30 years, who one day got inspired to invest in a small club in the village called Smalls. And what has happened since then is nothing less than a phenomenon, right? A place, an international home for the music, a place for us old guys like you and me. I happen to be older than you, by the way. Yeah, my 57th birthday is in a couple of weeks, so good Lord. Thank you. I never thought I would get this old, so now that I'm here, I have the pleasure of watching another generation of wonderful young musicians come up and light us on fire. So would you please give these young gentlemen another round of applause? And we owe this all to our friend Spike. We all, at different times in our careers, have pitched in to help, but it's just a wonderful thing what has happened, and it wouldn't happen without all of you taking the time to tune in and check out what's happening at Smalls from time to time, and to come out here and support live music. And wherever you do so, we appreciate you, we love you so very much, and thank you for being here. Okay, lovely. I don't know what to play. Oh yeah, for fires, for blues. Anybody here like the blues? All right.
Right now, let's give that, I mean, that's the blues. And, matter of fact, didn't you grow up around here somewhere? West Babylon. Where's that, man? It's east of Give West Babylon a round of applause. Yeah, man. Right now, we're going to take a little time to feature the great bass player, Jonathan Muir-Cotton, and he's going to play a Charlie Parker, what's it called? Yardbird Suite. Yardbird Suite. Jonathan Muir-Cotton. That's one of the great things about this generation is that they play all the music, man. I saw him a couple of weeks ago. He's playing electric bass and hip hopping and funking out, and he sounded great. And he comes up here and he's playing Charlie Parker. That's what makes these young guys so great because they're deriving from all forms of music. Great, Jonathan. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for coming out. We'd like to thank, I was thinking about Spike Wilner. When I first got to New York in 1988, I used to pretend I was Arthur Taylor, and Spike used to pretend he was Red Garland, and we would play at the Village Gate jam sessions on Sunday afternoon. I was just down at the Village Gate yesterday. It's now a CVS, but the sign is still there. And Spike has done a lot for us. He's one of the very few people that call you up and ask you to play at his club, which is a great feeling because a lot of times out there you reach out to people and they never get back to you. So it only takes one person to change a life, and Spike's changed millions of lives in the same way with Joel Chris over here. He reached out to me and thousands other and changed our lives and showed us the world. So thank you, Joel. Thank you, Spike Wilner. And since everything was sold out in the hotels tonight, we're gonna hit the road, which I was hoping to chill out in right on the bay, Sag Harbor. You got a suite? Well, he deserves it. He got a suite, but I gotta go home. And so this is our theme song from West Montgomery, Road Song. Thank you for coming out tonight, and thank you for having us. It's a pleasure.